Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today you can see here another month, another dev diary. So I've got this one for September of 2023 here. So if you guys are wondering where I've been, just been doing a little bit of study and stuff. Had a little bit of a block course thing up for the zookeeping course I'm doing, but had a little bit of a break. I've also completed Far Cry 4, so I'm quite happy with that. I just did it over the weekend. So I had a little break, but now come back to YouTube. And what a great way to open that up. So let's have a look at the September Dev Diary. Okay, so welcome to the September Development Update. So, to begin this month's diary, we'd like to share that the team is very confident in an October release for Update 8. So, that's the one everyone's been waiting for. The core development phase has finished, and we have now moved on to testing, finalizing, and ensuring all animals have been upgraded successfully. This update was originally slated for July and has taken a much longer time to finish than initially anticipated. The further we went into Update, the more unforeseen but addressable issues appeared, requiring immense levels of planning, teamwork, and refactoring to eventually get this release across the finish line. We have focused on getting all the underlying animal systems to feature parity to what players are used to, in addition to making them highly expandable and much more performant. This new base for the animals will allow us to easily move and change to make changes and additions in the future, as opposed to before, where animals essentially did not change since release. So Update 8 has been a massive endeavor, so we'd like to thank you all for waiting patiently while our team worked hard over the last few months. This has been an excellent collaboration between all departments, and now that it's almost ready, it will allow us to do much more with the animals going forward. So the big thing about Update 8 has been like updating all of the animals, especially like their movement and things like that, swimming and things like that, so that's going to be really, really cool to see. So let's carry on. So we've got a lot today, so it's really, really cool. So this is where we're at. So as one of the final steps for Update 8, we are porting all over species to the new Animals V2 architecture, our latest collection of AI, locomotion, and audio components that have been in development for the last few months. So porting the old animals is extremely fast thanks to this new editor new editor tooling that allows us to not only upgrade existing animals, but set up brand new species with significant automation. This new pipeline has tons of advantages, but perhaps the most important to players is how easy it is for us to customize behavioral differences between species. With a few simple sliders, we can now change things like animals' fleetness, metabolism, and how much food they need to consume before they're full. So that's really cool. So basically, this is upgrading the basic AI and locomotion, things like that, so they're going to be a lot more responsive and a lot more management to them and a lot smarter as well, so it's going to be really cool. As new AI behaviors are added in future patches, it'll be very easily to plug them in and factor things like playfulness, boldness, and sociality. So that's really, really cool. So even with, hopefully, maybe even within like different hadrosaurs, some hadrosaurs will be like, some will be more playful, some will be more solitary, some will be more social. So that's going to be really, really cool. And you can see that here. Really, really cool. It's kind of the animal setup wizard. So all the different animals there. So really, really cool there. Bit of behind the scenes wizard stuff, but I'm sure you guys, if you guys are into game dev, you probably like that, but I don't. I like to see all the different things. You can see what temperatures they like, hydration, bathroom, things like that. I think that's really cool. Anyway, optimization improvements. So this might come as a bit of a shock to some players, but animals are actually one of the worst performing things in this live game. In some key areas, however, we've managed to improve the animal performance in Update 8 tenfold. So it's awesome. One of these key areas is a brand new in-house IK system that has been developed extensively for the needs of Prehistoric Kingdom. So this is something they've made on their own. Really, really cool. IK is very complicated, but it kind of helps. It's so much more than just helping the animals walk on the ground. But I'm not really that versed in game dev, so I'm not going to try and explain it to you. I'd probably give a really bad explanation. But anyway, for our more tech-oriented fans, the old IK system took 62 milliseconds to process limb adjustment for 400 quadruped animals. From an in-development test, though, so this is the new one. However, our new solution only took 3 milliseconds for the same amount of critters, offering up to 20% increase in IK performance. So that means you can have a lot more animals on your map, do it faster and with better performance. So that's really, really good. Another substantial optimization has actually been animal audio processing. As in Update 8, we can now cull sounds early based on an animal's level of detail, and this prevents small detail-oriented sounds from even triggering to players too far away, cutting down and on wasted processing. So it basically allows, like, if you're hearing a dinosaur go boom, boom, boom walking around, it's not going to play it until you get to a certain a certain distance from it. So if you pull away, you're not going to hear it. So that helps with performance. So that's really, really cool. So that's all the cool techie stuff and all, and upgrading the animals and things like that. But this is kind of be the Update 8 overview. So these are some new things we're getting. So before the October release of Update 8, let's take one last look at all the major improvements coming in this patch. The full extensive changelog will be available on Steam at the release of Update 8. So this is kind of like the cool highlights of what we're getting. So animals, new species. So we can see this is our new species here, Velociraptor. So boasting an impressive crest and sickle-shaped claws, it's almost time for everyone's favorite speedy thief to join the kingdom. Like all the animals in Update 8, Velociraptor will of course be making use of our brand new locomotion and AI, so that's one of the big changes. Animal overhaul, of course. So to recap, animals will be navigating seamlessly using strafes, if you say that, walking backwards and turning on the spot as part of their general locomotion state. They're also very fluid, reactive, and can move between walking and running as needed. Some animals, like quadrupeds, even have tronic animations to smooth out that dynamic transition. So you can see the work in progress debug following here. So let's have a look. So this is a Protoceratops kind of going into a little maze. You can see running in, now he's kind of slowed down a bit and adjusting as he's kind of moving through. So that's really, really awesome. You can see that looks much more fluid and realistic compared to the old stop and start, very robotic one of the originals. So you can see, and this is just a test. So it's really awesome how they're getting it to be so fluid and realistic. So that's really, really awesome. I can't wait to see this in game and see people like work with the animals now. So that's so cool. So really, really awesome. We've also redone our audio breathing system to better take advantage of the new fluid locomotion. So influenced by an animal's speed and excretion, so kind of the effort the animal's putting in, the pitch and intensity and frequency of the breath will respond to the current circumstance of the animal. So if they've been running for a while, it may take longer for them to get for their breathing to steady. So you can imagine, like, if you guys have run a mile or something, I haven't run a mile because I'm terrible at running, but if you've run for like 100 meters and you're trying to catch your breath, it goes, that's going to be the same thing for animals. So you're going to be taking in more air. It's going to be realistic. Like, it's going to be how you expect an animal to breathe after it's been running or just jogging and things like that, and how quickly it'll take to recover its breath. So it's kind of more realistic in that regard, which is really, really cool. And we'd like to take this even further in the future by making an animal's health or sickness audible through how they breathe. So this is cluing players in on potential issues. So that's something I'm really into. I really like the idea of visual cues. So I like the idea of animals, like, if you're like zooming over the top of the map and you want to see what animals are sick just at a glance, because I think that's the best way. Having things like sound, you could hear one like having a really raspy breath, like, sounds like it's got a really bad cold and sneezing. Or if it's like a visual injury, it could be very much like a limp or something like that, or just holding its head down. So more visual cues to kind of show off and look. So I'm really liking the design thoughts here. It really does fit with like how I would like to play, because I think it's cool to have animals be reactive and just look at a glance you can see what animal's sick, because it's the less time you spend looking at menus, I think, is better in a game like this. Okay, so that's thoughts over that. New interactables. So as of Update 8, animals will seek out hay beds to rest or sleep, finally giving your prehistoric pals the sweet dreams they deserve. So here's a really, really cute picture. We can see a couple of velociraptors sitting on the little hay bales. That's so cute, or hay beds. So cute. So we should note that on release, hay beds will only allow one animal to rest on them at a time. Apparently genetic engineering makes them selfish. But it's only one at a time at the moment. This is something we'll definitely like to improve, but in the meantime, we recommend making use of multiple beds and habitat for best results. So I imagine there probably may be more of animations and stuff like that in the future, so you can have animal use more than once. You could easily fit 2 or 3 velociraptors on one of those hay beds, but it's one at a time at the moment. So really good ideas just to place multiple anyway. But yeah, really, really cool. Love that. And you can see the cute little velociraptor kind of curling out like that. It's really cool that we actually know that they slept like this from fossils. We have fossils of animals like Mei Long that are being preserved sitting on nests and sleeping. They would have kind of slept like that. So that's really, really cool. Nice bit of history put into that as well. So, for your thirsty animals, for the thirsty animals in your park, we are pleased to announce that the long-awaited modules water troughs are finally going to be included in Update 8. So available in larges and small sizes. Water troughs are a great solution for habitats that are too small or too uniquely shaped to comfortably contain lakes. So this is like if you have a small enclosure, like most zoos will have a trough. I'd really like a small like water bowl, quote unquote. So you can have like if you have particularly small enclosures for particularly small animals, you can just have a little trough. But yeah, this is works like this is a good medium, I think, from just having a lake and then you have your trough here. So yeah, really really awesome. And you can see the Pseudoceratops and a Montosaurus both having a drink from it. Looks really really cool. Looks pretty much what you would expect in an animal enclosure like that. Really cool. Like almost like on a farm, like you have a farm and you have all your cows and you have just a big trough for them to drink from. I think this kind of fits it the best. And a small yet hopefully appreciated feature we've worked on is physicalized interaction points for feeders. Okay, so water troughs and lakes. So rather than ensuring your animals line up exactly to where they need to eating and drinking, they'll instead check for valid head placements. So that'll be interesting. So now they'll be able to kind of like better judge and makes it look a little bit more realistic when they're drinking from water. And this results in a far more natural behavior where animals can be seen eating and drinking from random angles, so long as their head reaches the goal. So as long as it looks a little bit more realistic than just kind of being weird positions, things like that. So yeah, another one as well, we've got genetic mutations and variation. So when players create new animals in Update 8, there's a random chance for them to be born as albino, melanistic, or leucistic mutation. So albino is kind of all completely white with red eyes. Melanism is completely dark, so you get like black leopards, things like that. Albinos kind of things more like, albino snakes and things like that, bright colors. And leucistic is partial pigments, so you can have something that's kind of a lot lighter, not quite bright white, but like almost yellowish sometimes. There's a lot of variation with leucistic because you get piebald and things like that. But you can see here, there's the two on Montosaurus. So this one's an albino, and then on the back's melanistic. So good example of the variations. So these mutations are procedurally generated and not a preset texture. So this means that for every skin, they can mutate in very unique ways while preserving the underlying look of the animal. So you can also notice the subtle patterning. Even in albinos, you can have some subtle patterning as well, so it's really, really cool. So what this pretty much means is no two albinos is going to look exactly the same, so that really adds even in the game, no two animals look the same, because there's different hue and saturation variations, things like that. So I think that's really, really cool. It's like every animal is kind of a little bit different. So this extends to our variation system as well. So each individual animal will have unique hue, saturation, or brightness that's restricted to a pattern mask. So that means you can have far more natural results than what it would have in the game previously. So you can see these two Brachiosaurus here, they both have the same skill, but it's not same skill, same skin. But you can see just because of that hue and saturation, like the brightness variation and that, same skin, you can still get like completely different colors. You can see that one's much lighter than the one on the right, much lighter than the one on the left. So you can see same skin, different variation. I think that's so cool, and it really gives each animal like an individual look to it. So really, really cool. Definitely in love with that. Great example with the Brachiosaurus as well. I love the Brachiosaurus. So cool. Yeah, really, really awesome. And I'm really excited for this variation because each animal will be different, and I think that's so cool. Next up, gameplay. So here's some gameplay updates. So Park Beauty is a new component for park rating, requiring players to build their park in an optimal way to keep your aesthetic seamless and beautiful. So gardens in particular are a great way to boost park beauty, while foliage, fences, walls, and decorations can help reduce the impact of dirty habitats and infrastructure just by covering them up, which is really cool. There was already a couple other devlogs that explained that. Guest needs and queuing. So guests have been retuned along with a number of bug fixes that previously impacted how guests interacted with the economy. So we'll be able to make a few pathfinding updates along with a brand new queuing feature that should make guest traffic a lot more manageable and hopefully predictable. So players can turn into the guest need management and locate high quantities of dissatisfied visitors. So that's really cool. So you can see the queuing here naturally. That's quite cool. You can see we'll have a look at the Park Beauty there. You can see the greens all quite pretty, and then you can hide all the yucky buildings, the behind the scenes stuff with the trees and stuff like that. Really, really cool. You can see the queuing here. So this, I think, also allows like a visual look. So you can see, oh, this place has got a lot of people queuing up. Maybe I should put another little kiosk there so people can have a look. So I think that's another cool one as well. And here's another one. Use like look in the menu, so you can see where there's high areas of dissatisfaction. So you can see red there or high queuing up there. So they probably want a little bit more shopping around those kind of areas. Be really, really cool. And then you can see you've got a melanistic brachiosaurus right there. So that's awesome. Anyway, so we've also got Nigel's hints. So if your animal or habitat has been neglected, Nigel will occasionally chime in to point out the issues that need to be addressed. There are about 76 new contextual lines across a variety of potential triggers. So if there's something happening, Nigel will say, you better get onto that, your Brachiosaurus is needing a little bit of water there. I really won't probably say the animal, but he'll say they need like more water or something like that. So really, really cool. So visual improvements. So tropical biome rework. So we know that there've been a little bit of reworks for some plants and some habitats as well. So the tropical biome got a bit of a rework. So this is including 34 old foliage items. The tropical biome overhaul is a mix of brand new species and remastered classics ranging from the lush monsteras and the towering kapoks. The kapok tree is really cool. Updated map as well. In Update 8, the tropical map itself is at a makeover 2. The playable area was remade to better incorporate the updated plants with new forests, waterways, waterfalls and prairies. So existing tropical parks will not be affected by this change. So you can see here's the new one here. You can see all the wonderful new plants. And then you can see this wonderful new updated one. You can see the big kind of entrance there, and you can see the changes, water and everything. So it's a probably better updated view. See a little bit of sand there and a big waterfall. Looks really, really pretty, and it does look so much better. Really, really big fan of that. Also got the updated scrubland map. So the scrubland map also has its playable space revamped. The landscape is again much more forested with natural swamps and layers of rock dotting the horizon. Existing scrubland parks will not be affected by this change. You can see this is the new park here. You can see a little much more realistic backgrounds. You can see all the plants there and a lot more exposed rock, as you can see, kind of scrublands and things like that. A couple big lakes and things like that. Looks really, really nice. Definitely a big fan. You can see all this rock exposed. Really looks much more realistic. I like that we're not just getting flat maps. I like that we're getting a bit of variation, because a lot of zoos, they do have to build around their kind of terrain. So I think it's cool that we get to build around that too. And plus, sometimes a black canvas. Sometimes the scariest thing can be a blank canvas. So giving us something to work with is also really, really cool. So updated materials as well. So we can see modular glass now displays ambient reflections and renders more accurately due to atmospheric conditions. So you can see a little bit more accurate reflections, things like that. As well, we've also updated the modern stone brick wall textures to better fit our visual vision for the modern theme and improve fidelity. And like before, it's recolorable, so you can see some changes there. Looks really, really nice. I love the odd texture, things like that. Really, really cool. And you can see that wonderful mammoth there. Updated atmospherics and lighting and color grading. So as you might be able to tell by some of the screenshots in the dev diary, we have updated the lighting and atmospherics to every map to make sure they look even better. This game should look more balanced and rich in color. So updated like lighting and colors and things like that. So really, really cool. Quality of life improvements. So we're not quite done yet. You've got some quality of life improvements. So cinematic camera tracking. So a cinematic camera tracking mode will be available for non-mini exhibit animals, toggleable for the animal info panel at any time. So when selecting a newly bred species, the cinematic camera will automatically enable it to coincide with Nigel's voice line. So that's cool. If too disrupting, players can disable that functionally through the options menu. So you can see here, very similar to Planet Zoo, it just gives you a nice cinematic view to look at the animals. You can see Protoceratops running around, things like that. Looks really, really cute. Definitely a big fan. Also, auto foliage removal. This one is awesome. So modular and path placements actions will automatically remove terrain-bound vegetation from underneath it, making it much easier to expand the park. So that's awesome. Love that. That'll be very useful. And autosave option. So added options to either change autosave frequency or disable entirely, which can be found in the gameplay settings. So that's cool as well. Next up, so we've got the future. So we've done, that's what's coming in 8. Now we're talking about the future. So for the next few updates, we'll be focusing on content-driven releases now that the animal overhaul is almost out of the way. This means we get back to more regularly scheduled updates including new animals, maps, and module items while we work on bigger features in the background. Then to reflect this, we've divided our Trello into current and planned developments, and we're confident with the feature being ready. So example, staff or animal behaviors, we'll move it up to one of the update columns on the right. So that's cool. I really like that. So it's just releasing things as they're ready. So that's awesome. And our art, animation, and audio team have been working up quite the backlog. So the content updates will come much faster than Update 8. So that'll be awesome. Behind the scenes, the programming team will continue to work on developing staff, improving guests, and expanding animal gameplay through new behaviors and staff integration. So I'm really excited to see how staff's going to work. So that's going to be really, really awesome. And also guests getting an improvements, cool. And new behaviors. How can you not love new behaviors? But here, we've got Update 9. So this is what we're getting for Update 9. So this is after this animal update. So the big analog animation and animal AI update. This is Update 9. So following the next release, we have Update 9, which is our grassland update. So this pack will be dropping with 3 new animal species, featuring the big-nosed Australian icon Motobarosaurus. Joining this animal are some of the not yet revealed mystery creatures, some of which should hopefully scratch a fan favorite off your list. So wink wink. You'll hear more about them in the remaining species closer to the release of Update 9, which you'll see later. But in terms of landscaping, this update will of course include the grasslands biome, so a gorgeous selection of grasses dominated by a variety of acacia and manilura trees. This is a highly versatile biome and will be retroactively added to animals like Smilodon. And to coincide with Update 9, we've also included a brand new map set deep in the heart of a Tanzanian crater. So this flat landscape is perfect for those looking for an easy building experience through its lack of dense foliage and extensive waterways. So please stay tuned for information regarding Update 9's release after Update 8. So that's going to be fun. So let's have a look at these pictures quickly. We can see a couple wonderful pictures of the Motobarosaurus. I love the green here. It looks really, really nice. Very much looks like a nice warm area. It kind of reminds me of something like Africa, like Southern Africa, or potentially more wetter parts of Australia, which is really cool. A little bit more wetter, even parts of America, you could probably say. And this is much more like your stereotypical African savanna with the big crater around it. And you can see we've got our Smilodon here and these nice yellow grasses along with these Paraceratherium. But they wouldn't be living together in the wild, of course, because Smilodon popularitas from the Pleistocene. This guy's from the Miocene, so there's probably 50, I think Oligocene actually, so 20 million, 30 million years apart from these guys. Be really, really cool. Awesome animals, definitely love that. And let's have a look at the community spotlight. So this is by Ed Helen. So this is a really nice museum by the looks of it. Is it going to load for me? Please load for me. It's not going to load. Anyway, so this is a nice kind of missing Morrison. So this is based on the Morrison Formation. You can see there's 2 Apatosaurus, it seems like, doing Bronto Smash, while a bunch of Aguricnathids and some pterosaurs kind of fly around and do that. So really, really cool diorama for a museum as well. And next up, we've got a little terrarium, a little aquarium actually, by Xanobog, I believe you say that. So this is for Diplocaulus. It's not going to load. Diplocaulus is a really cool amphibian with that boomerang-shaped head. Really, really cool that they're even making cool aquariums with that. Even reminds me of something like Planet Zoo. So that's really, really awesome. And then next up, we've got a kind of sign. So this is a cute little sign. I don't think these ones will load. But anyway, so welcome back. So greetings from Eden. So this seems to be someone's zoos by Incognito. Delays for the park opening. Thanks Stumpy the Protoceratops. Do not worry, our keepers catch. Our little escaped artist provides a chance to headbutt our guests. So he's a cute little guy. I love Stumpy. He's a friend and cute little Protoceratops. Love him. So thank you for reading this September's Dev Diary. So we hope you're ready to finally get your hands on Update 8 in the next few weeks. It's a really big update, and although it took longer than expected, we're happy with it and just so excited to finally have the opportunity to build out what could be a really interesting and engaging simulation for the animals. So I'm really excited to see that. So please keep your eyes on our socials for the release announcement. The team cannot wait to have you back in the game. So that's from the PK team. So really, really awesome. So this was a nice devlog, a bit of a longer one, just going through all the major updates that'll be coming in Update 8, and a little bit of a tease for Update 9. So going through all the things like the new AI, the new animal coming, Velociraptor, some new enrichment things and animal things, and also changes to guests and park beauty and things like that. So a really, really nice rounded update and gives us a pretty clear idea of what major things we should expect. So yeah, I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Always remember to hit the little bell icon to get notified below anything. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys like and subscribe, and bye bye.